Hey everyone, welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Watching our new grain train pull out of our new livestock place. You can see that it's dropped off a plethora of crates over here. There was a really good comment on the last episode about how the grain's been delivered here and shouldn't it go into silos, and I do agree, and I've just been looking around here and trying to work out how that could work, and the problem is there's no explanation of how the raw grain would be unloaded from the train. So as a compromise, I'm just going to put down a silo in the middle of nowhere using the LMP mod, and we'll just do a silo component, silo, and I'm just going to put a couple of them around here, and we'll leave it at that. Yeah, I'm not going to put a pipe on it or anything else like that, but I do agree that this area did need some silos. If we look at the train, it is currently running at 50, which is a pretty good number, because when we look at the livestock place, it is running at 100. So the very first thing I'm going to do, mainly because the finances are so good, is I'm just going to duplicate this train and get us up to 100, and that will come from the depot somewhere and eventually get on the network. The next thing I want to do, and the main focus of today's episode, is to reopen some abandoned train lines, because currently grain is coming in but livestock is going nowhere. So the plan for today is to get a livestock to meat plant working, which is this combination, and then hopefully, if we've got time, we'll also try to wrap it with paper and deliver it as food. My plan is to do this elsewhere on the map. These two were just placed down for more as examples. The plan is for us to leverage the wheat line we made last time, and so the livestock will come in here. So the train will come in here on the on this left track. This Matt Hatter cattle stock mod actually puts cattle on where this orange stuff is, and then we can load them into the train, and then they'll go around the loop, and so the grain will come on the right, and the livestock will be on the left. It'll come out and it'll come down here. We actually have an example of what a livestock train looks like. There's this fantastic cattle car track asset that you can get from, I think JK makes it, and we'll use them to transfer the cows from the farm to the abattoir, I guess. This has a really good animation. You get little cow heads and everything, so it'll look like that, probably that scale. I am tempted, since this is a real station, I'm actually tempted to come out and either on the way out or the way in, actually to park it here temporarily. We'll have a little 30-second delay. I think that would look pretty cool. And if we did that, it would actually give us a passing track, because currently, if we look at this line, it's coming in and out on that, so it would cause a little bit of contention. So if we had this as a passing track, that would be good. So the plan is to go down the same track as this, and then come through here with the grain train. I've done a whole lot of detailing between episodes, put some power poles down and all the fences and such. And then we'll make it so that it passes through here on the left-hand side. So this temporary diorama I put down, which has literally lasted only half an episode between episodes, the train will come down here, the left-hand side, the livestock one. I do want to put a slight embellishment here. So where's the end of the station? There it is. I'm going to bring this up to there, just so we have a little bit of a runaway train protection. Did those not dock? I was trying to make it so that it's parallel so that it docked. Let's try that again. There it goes, that's better. And there, so you get a nice little solid thing in the middle. Put down a whole lot of Ingo water assets around here, just to give it a little bit more character. I think it looks pretty good, and you can see that the power lines come through here and sprinkled through some trucks and everything, just to give the whole place a bit of life. Yeah, so the plan is for the livestock train to come through on the left, and the grain train will be on the right. This little area does give us a little bit of a diorama also of how a train maybe could park, because the grain train comes in here, the loco would detach, come back, and then go around and then attach on the other side. But sometimes you might just want to park it out of the way. So what I might do is actually kind of fall into that, or follow that theme, and I'm actually going to put the same engine that we're using for the grain, I'll park one right there just for the fun of it. It looks kind of cool. And then the plan is for this train line to continue on. So if we take a scroll out, you actually can see there's a road over here. So my plan is to join this road together and we'll follow the track along. And then it's going to go down here. This is the abandoned train line area that we're going to re-establish. And that gives this little diorama over here some purpose. Just a little community center. There's a little playground back here. And this is where I expect some type of farm event to happen every month or so. And people gather here. And of course, there's the church for the weekly visits. Yeah, so I want the train line to come down here and follow the road. And where I'm going with this is I think it should somehow join on to here. It was an original thing, and that actually explains why there's a curve on this property here. I think there's a track that goes this way. I would love it to see if we could go to this way as well, and so kind of like curve here. I think that area may be tall enough to get a tunnel through, but what I'm thinking is it's maybe abandoned. So that's actually what I'm going to try to do first, and we'll get the track from there and there working. I think it might be worth putting in this one first. So we'll do somewhere around here. I think, yeah, somewhere around here. And I'm going to keep it horizontal and see what happens. And what I want to do is kind of head, where's the road? Yeah, I want to head, which side of the road is going to be? It's going to be the left-hand side. So we'll come across something like that. So I want to be kind of that direction. And out of interest, is this area around here flat? Actually, what I can do is get it to the road. Yeah, that's actually quite good. And then I'm going to turn flatness off now and let it start following the terrain. And I want to definitely get it into here at grade while we're going past the church. So I think that looks pretty good. And yeah, there's a bit of hill there, so that all flattens out. That looks pretty good. There's a bit of a wonk, but that's fine. And then at some point around here, so around here somewhere, what I'm looking for is a bridge. And so if I go like this, I mean, the goal here is to make it so that it's actually plausible that it's part of the station. And so I think that works quite well. What I should do from a safety point of view, like just from assets point of view, is depaint all this. So yeah, let me do that quickly because it's going to take me a little while. Alright, I'm going to press pause now. I think I've got to a good point where it's pretty safe for me to proceed. There is these power poles, but I plan to actually get them back. So I think what I need to do is get rid of this road and then actually bump up the height of the road temporarily. And we'll do that very surgically. I think over here is a high point. Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure I can get those power lines back again. And I didn't depaint over here. I'll get rid of those as well, just in case it matters. I did fix the power poles. There was another row across here, so I just changed it so that it's attached there now. So got that out of the way. All right, train track time. Let's do some damage. I think I'll come from this side. I expect the fence to disappear. Actually, we can get rid of this temporary road as well. That's just there for texture really anyway. And let's pull off around here. I'm going to keep it level. And I want something... Okay, so it's not deep enough. So need to push the terrain up a little bit more. I really should turn on the experimental features to do with height. I think that may save us here, but oh well, I don't have it. All right, so we're very close. Okay, so a little bit more height. And I think we will be good to go. The tunnel definitely is taller than what it wants us to be. Okay, there it goes, perfect. And so let's go 70 is a good number. And I kind of like how it's over here on the right-hand side. Yeah, I think that looks okay. The grade was good. And now I think, from experience, I think I can, flatten this out and really push it down to the top of the tunnel. And then those power lines still seem to be pretty good. Let's see if we can get this road back again. And all of our ills have been fixed by the road. The power lines are still pretty good. Actually, I'm really happy with the way that turned up. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. All right, so some judicious smoothing will get rid of a lot of these other problems. And even up here, we can make it a bit better. We didn't lose our texturing when it comes to the flowers and stuff. And then it's just a matter of putting back the fences. Using this trick over here, you dial up a distance. In this case, I tend to use 3.5 for a fence, and then it docks to the road. And so, is it going to dock to the road, or is it not going to dock to the road today? Automatic collision, adjust height. Are you going to dock? Yeah, for some reason this road doesn't have docking, but yeah, you set up the distance and then you just have to touch the road and it automatically just follows it for you. But we can do it manually anyway. I'm going to keep this quite wide here, away from the road. Lots of pedestrian space. And then go very vertical. And do I want to go down the hill? I think I will, because we had that before. And down to our fence there. And I'm going to do, since this wasn't helping, actually, let's just see if we can make it this way work. So, yeah, there goes, 3.5, see? So, you can just touch the rail. Weirdly, I'm touching the right-hand rail for the left-hand track, but anyway, or for left-hand fence. But it's a very good way of getting a very specific point. And get it correct, and there. All right, so let's get rid of that one. So my thought process, the sheep can go up and over. I think that's plausible. And so let's do 3 on the other side, and this time it should dock the correct way for us. So it's, yeah, I think it's safe to put it that way. Now, you're probably going to be surprised about what I'm about to do here is I'm actually going to abandon this railway. And so that's fine. And I'm actually going to get rid of it. I'm going to board it up. And so it's like an abandoned one. Mad Hatter has a doors category, and it has solid walls, which is this one right here. And I'm going to choose bricks. We'll make it huge. And we'll say no porch. And hopefully, did I choose the right one? Can I get one that's wide enough? Come on. Maybe if I have to make it double wide. Here, make it double wide. And then there we go. So I'm actually going to put that right there. And remind me at some point to shove Thomas the Tank Engine or something in there as a little Easter egg. So yeah, my plan is to do that. And then I need a one of these things to stop people making mistakes. And yeah, my plan is not to use this. Now, this is all connected, so technically a train could easily go through there. I'm going to use ring, 90s, and then we'll put a little thing on there saying that you're going off that way. That's all fake, so it doesn't make any difference. And I am happy with that. Next thing to do is just a little bit of, hey, this doesn't exist anymore. So that means that it should have lots of weeds on it. So we'll build up the weed amount. And I probably could have put one more fence in there. I think it looks a little bit off right now. If you go in finish mode, it just puts it the way you touch it as a panel. So that works like that, yeah. So yeah, so the sheep can go up and over. I forget where we get the sheep from. Which person is giving us sheep? Is it Ingo? I've got a feeling it probably is. Is this a milk sheep? We'll do random rotation, random size. Hey, do you look the same? You do look the same. So let's have some cheeky guys over here. I pity the poor farmer who has to try to get these guys up and over the hill. And we'll keep most of them away from the trend line. We'll keep them, actually, there's nice shade over here. Actually, talking of shade, let's put down a couple more trees. We'll get this tree continued, and I believe it's going to be this one. And randomization, yep. And all right, so try not to be too close to the fence because it will destroy the fence. If I did that, I'm looking at the base here, and I'm making sure it doesn't get anywhere near the fence because it would destroy it. And I think that looks pretty cool. We'll go one right over here, and I'm actually going to put one. No, I'm going to leave that off there. It's kind of nice to see that little area. Yeah, that looks cool. So as far as this train's concerned, I'm going to leave this as all bracken and overgrown because it's not being used. I am going to put in a cross track at a pretty high speed, let's say 60, that used to get used for people to get across. And what was the speed limit of that? It was 80 or 60. Okay, so let's put in an old sign. This is I believe the Queensland speed mod, and it's in kilometers per hour, and it's going to be going to the right, and I think we can go forward as well. Forward's 120, and so that's an 80. Actually, you know what? That would not exist because you would never go across to the other side. So let's ignore that. What we could say, though, is coming this way. That's true. And do we have any signals around here? We don't. I could move this guy forward. I actually have some of these labeled. So let's pull this one forward. And yeah, and then because this is derelict, I'm not actually going to put a real thing on it. I'm just going to use an asset that says, by the way, yeah, that one. And I have no idea whether this is prototypical or not, but that's what that's representing. Feel free to yell in the comments and tell me what to do. All right, so that's that. Should we clean up this end? I think what I might do on this one is something slightly different. We'll have fun with Rico again. Rico has so many good things. I'm going to go a heap of stuff, and manure's going to grass, straw. Silage is nice and dark, so I'm tempted to do that. And then we'll make it massive. And the locals have been dumping stuff in here, and put a fair few of these here just to make it, pretty diverse and different. And yeah, for some reason there's a whole lot of dirt in here. I'm trying to get that right. There we go. So yeah, so that's all filled up with muck, and yeah, this side's a little bit more official. So yeah, cool. We now have an abandoned train line through here, and well, nearly have. We need to get the track going. Let's get up the track. I assume it's a little hilly. It should be all right. I think we should be within grade. And keep on going. This is where I'm going to put our meat packing facility. So I'm actually going to come away from the road a little bit, because otherwise you can't get a railway crossing. let's go that way. I'm going to go flat. Oh, are we that far in the ground, up in the air? Oh, we're on a hill here. Okay. Chose a poor spot for that. Well, let me put the station down first. I think that's the easiest thing to do. Then we can build the track to it. I'm going to use, if I can find it, it's called the Industrial Stations mod, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I can't exactly remember it. If I can find it, it's a cargo one. This one. And so let's go with 2 tracks. So that way there's like a passing lane. I love this because it also has an integrated car terminal. And yeah, I kind of like this. So we have to have a track on the outside. Perimeter walls, let's say no. We'll keep it the shortest possible. Gantry crane. Yes, I don't know. Terminus, no, we're going to go through and it won't be electric. Okay, so let's do that. I think from a rotation point of view, I'm going to stay on the grid. And I think that should do. And then from a track point of view, I'm going to build that anyway and make that parallel outside. And because this is somewhere with lots and lots of tendrils, you get that effect where when you're trying to delete things, everything is little segments. And please stay flat. And where's our line? Too much slope. All right, so what's happened here? So well, that's actually quite low. Interesting. All right. I think I must go do some terraforming for that. Yeah, we'll pull the road down. And then this guy needs to come in somehow, if you want to be nice to me. Thank you. And then where does this look nice? That looks nice too. And we'll do the same at the other end. All right, so come out straight. Otherwise this merge is going to be a nightmare. You can come into there. And I'm going to make this one much shorter. Do I make this end shorter? Yeah, I think I might make this end shorter too. We'll go a bit more stark. And I saw 60 there. It's kind of a cool number. And yeah, so they can come in slow. And that works well. All right, so this road is way too high. Now, yes, I could have been a little bit more, prototypical, specific here. But I also want to make it so that this looks cool. So we'll follow the road, very similar to what the actual track is. And yeah, then that can go down to there. And now, I didn't give myself space for a railway crossing. I don't think this is going to let me do it, is it? So yeah, what I should do... Yeah, maybe we do this again. We need to come out straight for a while. And now give us space. And then you can be like that. And yeah. Definitely some smoothing is going to get applied here. Yeah, that works. And then quickly do this again. And that one can be like 70-ish. And then you can be a little smaller. All right. And then for that road point of view, we will go across here. And then across here, we'll get rid of that hill. And around you come. You know what? I might actually make that nice curve. Yeah, like that. And down you come. And that needs to go into there. Nice. All right, so let's do a pretty egregious smoothing wand. Get rid of all the hills around here. And then out here as well. And then we'll just do the smoothing one for the rest. Bit of a hiccup there. All right, let's put down an industry. I'm going to be lazy here. I'm actually just going to go box standard in game. So I could make an industry, but the one in here for meat is actually pretty cool. It looks pretty good, and I think it's pretty functional. And so what I'm going to do is get this in here. I'm actually going to sacrifice the road. And what I'm trying to do, angles, there's a whole, let me get rid of this. There's a whole edge here which is empty. So anywhere along here would be good for an entrance. And so I'm just going to line up the production arbitrarily with the station like that and build anyway. And the question is it the same height? I think it is. It just doesn't look like it. I think, yeah, this station can be a bit weird with these wonks. I don't know what the deal is. Yeah. And also there's a missing asset there. You know what? Do I care? I might care off camera. Yeah, I'm going to care off camera. All right, so there is a hidden road in there. There it is. You can get rid of that. Actually, that's probably what it was. Yeah, it was the road. Yeah, cool. That fixes that. All right, so I don't like how this is using a dirt road as its main egress. It kind of looks weird. Obviously, cars can come across and go into here, but I do want to make this a bit better. The edge of the property is here, which I'm very acutely aware of. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come all the way into the property, and I'm going to try to line this up correctly. Actually, I think it's about there, and come over the top and go build anyway. And that is just going to be a part of our diorama when it comes to how this place is connected. I don't like these trees here. That's part of the property. This is a slaughterhouse, so there's not really a good explanation of how the cows are coming in. So I think what we need is a really big building to kind of represent that. There's not that many to choose from. I think I'm just going to go with this old beauty. Do I want a red mixed? Okay, let's do that. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go 1. All right, so where we have to get really accurate because I want these to be like one building. 2, and come on, donut, you've got this. 3, good enough. Yeah, that should do. And so that gives it a bit more space. And I like the idea of that kind of like grounding the environment. And then we will put in a whole lot of these over here as well. So like the cows are taken off the platform and fed down here and then into the building. And then, yeah, I think that looks okay. It's not my best work I've ever done, but I'm okay with it. And then from a fence point of view, I'm just going to put in electric fences. If I press start in my help, electric fence across here. And we'll do the same thing in front of this. And then I think I'm going to go across here. And we will... Ooh, this is going to be hard to delete. Oh, they are tiny. Come on, donut. All right. And then what I want to do is put in a gate so that when the cars are coming in, it's usable, but when the cattle's being moved, it is not. And so we'll put a big gate there. So that gets closed and all the cattle get stuck in there. And then we'll finish off the fence. Which fence was I using? Was it this one? Yep. Nope. Yes? No. No, it wasn't. Which fence was I using? this one. And then we'll go from there. I think I'm just going to go the whole way over to here. And then we'll come out here again, and good enough for now. All right. So that is our abattoir. It's got road connection, place for the trains to come and go. In theory, what we could do is we could make a line that went from here across to, say, our cargo station and go down the part of the track that isn't abandoned, for example. The other thing we could do, I don't think we will, is we could actually make this a loop. We could go down here, around, through the abandoned tunnel and out. So if we change our mind about that abandoned tunnel, that's possible. So let's get this track done and get this thing online. I think, yeah, let's do the road first. I think it might be wise. And where are we going? It's over there. Okay, we're past the point where we want to be. That's fine. Let's start turning. You know, it's a road. It can turn quite fast. I probably should do the rail first. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's kind of good. I kind of like how that went up and down. How's the grade? The thing about the roads is it doesn't really force you to get the grade right. And I think... Oh, that's very, very steep. All right, we're going to have to play with grade around here. It did get a bit steep. Let's get away from the road. Let's come out a little bit more square. And how's that? Yeah, that'll do. Cool. So now we have a track that can get us across to the abattoir. So yeah, let's make a line. It's going to go from the Liverpool Livestock and come over here, through here. So I am going to need, I don't necessarily want it to stop here. So what I might do is put in a waypoint. Can I put in ooh, how's this going to work? Yeah, can I put, maybe this side. Maybe this side. If I put it in there, and we'll go both ways. Yeah. And then what I can do now is when I'm going this way, go that way, go through, come across, come into here. Let's go with the right-hand track. And then come back, and as you can see, it'll probably want to stay on the left-hand side. Here it does. So let's keep away from the grain, and we'll hit this waypoint, which says, hey, by the way, whistle when you go past. And livestock, you know what? Brown's not the worst color. Should we go a darker brown? Yeah. And this is going to be called Train Cargo. Where are we? We're in River Pool, which is a play on words for Liverpool, and it's going to be livestock. Done. All right, so let's get a new set of iron made. This is the depot we've been using for the whole series. I'm going to go with a pannier tank. Pannier. GWR. Pannier. There you go. Oh, pannier. I put E rather than A. And latest. This is the one we've been using for the grain. And then we have these really cool custom rolling stocks, British wagons, cargo for livestock, and it is this one? No, that's not right. Oh, maybe we're not in the right year yet? That's annoying. Or maybe it's come. Oh, it's got to got the filter on. Whew. It's good I've got the filter on. Ooh, I was worried about that then. All right, yeah. Great Western Railway, British cattle wagons. I'm glad I worked that out. And we will go for the ones that came out the latest. I believe it's this bottom one. Yep. And let's go for, let's say, our platform's 120. Let's go for a less trip. So let's go just a full trip. And I am going to make it so that we have a brake wagon. Brake. Where's the brake wagons? Actually, it's not under GWR. It's under wagons, not that one. Brake wagons. There it is. Click. And these are short wheelbase. That one. And also I need to assign it. And assign that to show the whole map, so it's in our list. Train cargo, river pool livestock, and let's watch that guy come out. And press unpause. Open those doors, and out comes train 13. Look at that. That looks awesome. Oh, that looks good. And off they go onto the network. So last time we did some shenanigans. I haven't fixed it. This is the train line that comes through. There's nowhere to turn left. And so what happens is it will go across here and go through this terrible little loopy thing over here. And then come this way. For this one and only time, I wouldn't be surprised if that actually goes up that way to join. So let me park the camera here and we'll see which way our new livestock train goes. Our guy's coming over the bridge right now. He's way over there. I saw the new grain train go past as well. What is going to happen? Are we going to get it going forward or to the right? I would assume going forward it would make sense because... No, it did go that way. Awesome. Well, let's go for a ride then through our new abandoned line. As I said, this line probably won't get used much, if ever. My plan is to keep it derelict. Yeah, we'll keep all these nettles and stuff completely covering the track. And away we go. So we can see the church. We can see the community barn thing. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Obviously, we'll have to put some fences and all that stuff here. Ooh, look at this hill. Okay. Yeah, a lot of these rural lines do have a little bit of undulation to them. I think I might go around flattening them out a little bit. Like that one right there probably could have a little bit of flattening. This stuff looks great. Look at that. The church. Yeah. Yeah, cozy little spot on the map. Love it. Always rolling hills with the wheat. It's great to see the birds. You know, Urban Games does a great job of giving the game some life with that type of stuff. It is weird that it's very good at hovering birds over top of fields. I don't know whether there's logic for that, but it does seem that the birds do hover over big spaces like that. Maybe just you look for it a bit more. Yeah, it's cute little ride. I like it. We'll have to find an actual reason for this segment to get used. I don't really want to use trains to get the raw meat into town. I definitely want to use trucks for that. You may not have noticed, or you may have, that I have been fighting a cold for the last couple of weeks. So the last 3 episodes, including this one, have had me suffering a little bit, but I'm getting better. So hopefully the next episode my voice should be back to normal. It definitely has a bit of a nasally sound to it recently. Yeah, I like this. I've kind of maybe screwed up from a diorama point of view because I haven't really explained how the cows are going to get unloaded through a fence. Yeah, this will probably need some work, and also there's a missing asset, which I'm not sure what it is. I'll have to double check the mod creators page for the thing and say, hey, is there any particular dependencies? And also those fences need some grounding. Out of interest, can I configure this after the fact? I can. What happens if I put on the walls? You know what? That actually may make more sense. Yeah, because the cattle can be kind of like pushed towards this area. Yeah, that may make more sense. Yeah, I might leave those walls turned on. All right, let's watch this come up here. So that's a bit up. I don't know how much I want to fix it. I do like these older rails to have a little bit more of a undulation to them. I'm not expecting them to be high-speed railways. It may affect the profitability a little bit, but I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, around here I'm okay with it dipping into the dirt. It was a little bit high to try to make that match. Yeah, we definitely need to put flowers and railings and power lines and all that stuff on it. Let's watch this pull into our new farm. Wow, this is actually pretty huge. We're going long distances. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, you watch a lot of other YouTubers who do Transport Fever 2, and everything just seems to be so close. I really like the sense of distance and how it takes a long time to get anywhere. Yeah, I like this abandoned or side thing. That works quite well. The emergency runoff. Should I add one at this end? Yeah, I think we can get away with skipping it there. All right, let's skip forward over to the livestock farm and watch this guy come in. Tell us in the comments what you think about the episode lengths. I've been kind of moving up towards 45-50 minutes lately. That's the green one on the right. Yeah, tell us if you're happy with that, whether you would prefer a little bit shorter, a little bit longer. And, you know, maybe also about what the content is. Do you want to continue to see a lot of detailing and relatively slow progress towards getting lines up? I do like trying to approach each episode with a particular line in mind. I think that's kind of fun to see something get up and running. And I'm kind of like going, well, I could just lay down track and get that done in 5 minutes. So I'm just trying to scale the enjoyment here about how much detailing you want to see versus how much track laying. This area is getting a lot of focus because I'm trying to get it over and done with. And the farm was one of those things that it takes 4 steps. And so we did the episode of getting the farm down. We did the episode about getting the grain to the farm. This is the livestock out. And then there will be to the abattoir, and then from the abattoir we still need to do, so that will be the next episode. But then once we've done that, I think our choice is, well, where are you going? Didn't I tell it to go on that other platform? Is it just because it's the first run? Yeah, it's just because it's the first run and I just chose to do it. Yeah, so I think I might, because I think the abattoir or the packing of the raw meat will be in the town of Ashford. I think the next episode after that probably will be Ashford focus again, because I want to probably finish Ashford, because that will be the last time something's added to there. So I'm probably going to make a little medieval area. I haven't shown it, but down in Smallville, down the bottom coast, there's a whole new medieval town down there, just for the fun of it. Stuff I do off camera for myself. How's this guy going? All right, let's jump across. Oh, no, we can wait. I was going to say let's jump across, but we don't get to see a new rolling stock too often. And most people don't do, for some reason, they don't do that many ride-alongs at normal speed. And it's kind of fun to see all this detail. Like all these power poles and stuff that look quite unique. You don't see that. We need to definitely flesh out this yard. Like that space right there is prime for adding a whole lot of track-based stuff, or track maintenance stuff. Actually, that yard, much like we did in the Great Western Railway series, we could put in a diorama where, much like the Mont Guthrie yards, where a train full of track supplies and sleepers and stuff like that comes and visits. And what that train did is it just went around the map from station to station and lost money because it never does delivery, but kind of generated a bit of a diorama feel. I'm loving this. I do like these pannier engines, these saddle tank ones. I think they've got a nice shape to them. And I think plausibly you could say that this is the right cost for this type of freight. I think you could say that the cost to run this engine would be conducive to the amount of money made from this type of freight stuff. Love it. I do like those power lines, and the fences help too, but the power lines in particular, I keep on hitting those fruit trees on this line. They really do just give it a little bit more character. Yeah, so this little section here could have quite a bit of contention because there's going to be, well, there is 2 grain trains, and what is the rate of this guy? This guy's rate is 59, so there's probably going to be 2 of these as well. So here we go, coming on in. Look at this, look at all of the livestock on the platform. Yeah, these little smoke things are actually, I put some dung heap assets underneath the platform just to give it a bit more character. And look at that, we have our first load. And is it going to be full? Close to it. What are you? Too short. Loading rate 0.98. Okay, interesting. So I think the brake van may actually cause it to not be considered, well, considered to be too long. Are we out of grain? Is that the trouble? What's the deal here? We're at 0. So we are doing 1-to-1. We could do 2-to-1, output 50, and then have less trains on the route, and then over at the meat place. Can we modify this? No. Actually, what I will do is I'm going to turn auto upgrade off. I don't want the diorama to change. I want it to stay at a rate of 100. So yeah, because we can't control this, what I was thinking was we could send maybe 100 worth of grain as 50 livestock, and then we could turn the 50 into 2 meats, but we can't control the rate of this industry. So this is going to be Ashford. You know what? Meat processing plant is not the worst name of that. Alright, well, this guy's not going to get any more because there's just no grain here. So I'm going to tell it to go. And this way, please. Yep. And we will put the camera on it. And yeah, we'll call it the end of the episode. I've got these cows. Sorry guys, you're about to go to a better purpose. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, definitely if you got this far into the video, and definitely comment on what you want to see in future videos. The plans for the next 5 or 10 episodes are completely up in the air, so if you suggest something, I can definitely try to do it for you. As always, thanks so much for watching everybody, and we'll see you next time in the areas.